Hi guys, today is the 29th of November 2019 at 48 minutes past 1 in the afternoon over here in the UK. I wanted to make this quick video because I've seen this report come up today where an inferno ripped through an Ohio safari park, killing 3 giraffes, 3 hogs and 4 antelope. However, when they say antelope, it didn't ring any bells to me, but further down in the story it says fire officials say 3 bongos, 3 giraffes, 3 Red River hogs and a springbok housed in the barn are believed to be dead. Now, I've heard of a springbok and I thought it may have been familiar. So I had a look at the image of what a springbok looks like, and this is what a springbok looks like. And I'm sorry, but I do think that that is potentially what we have in the classroom just here. We know it looks like a deer, a stag, or a buck, um, but we've also got the potential for it being a representation of a springbok. Just the way it's leaping, they're connected to it, and then we have this report out just within the last couple of hours where we have an animal in that same similar style of shape, you know, deer-like, being on fire. Well, I'm assuming it was on fire because it died in the fire. But obviously, again, just with the leaping, is very similar to the way that they leap, and they're very well known for that. This image is probably one of the clearest, the way that the hooves are bent forward. Deers aren't really known for leaping. It's not something they run, of course, and they probably leap while they're running. But these springboks, it's in the name, springbok. It's a springy animal. It jumps a lot and it leaps. And you can see, as I said, the way the legs are positioned. If we go back to the iPet Goat 2 video, it's very similar with the legs at the front and the legs coming back here. And sorry, I'm not even using my computer. But you know, we can see in this image that they may have just tried to throw us off a springbok interpretation by giving it antlers that deers and bucks and, you know, stags have. That could still be an interpretation, and we've looked at various interpretations for the stag, buck and deer interpretation, but I think it does have a similar connection to a springbok. At least over the last 2-3 years where we've been looking at this video, we haven't had a story where an animal similar to this one in a leaping fashion has died in a fire, whereas we have now. And just in the last couple of days, we had the chemical fire in Texas, where that could relate to the beginning of the video, where we see, you know, a Texas scene, kids in cages with the goat, child goat being a kid in a box. We've got the smoking towers in the background. Obviously, the chemical plant was on fire, and they do have cooling towers. Winter has approached the United States in a series of major winter storms. So we've got the winter storm scene unfolding. Even going a bit further down, you know, evolving in the Middle East, we have the, you know, Iran scene with the USS Abraham Lincoln lining up against Iran, ready to go for an attack and whatnot. Competition between them. Further down in the video, well, the thumbnail's not moving, so I can't really tell where I am. Give me just a second, here we go. So sorry about that. I know that would have hurt some of your ears, I do apologise. So even in this scene, where we have the protester coming out with the white flag, waving the white flag, another, you know, sort of interpretation, not exactly the same, but very, very similar, is the Hong Kong protesters, you know, coming out and waving the American flag after Donald Trump, you know, came out with this bill or proclamation supporting the Hong Kong protesters in China, and China warning that, you know, it will take firm countermeasures. We don't know exactly what those countermeasures are, but if it's an interpretation from the iPet Goat 2 video, we know that China has lined up their military outside of Hong Kong. We saw those videos earlier this year, just a couple months ago. So those, the PLA army, the People's Liberation Army of the Republic of China, is still there. And with this declaration from the United States, it may be that the retaliation or the firm countermeasures that China are proposing will come in the form of sending in the PLA army. And we see that in the replication of the Tiananmen Square scenario, with the tanks moving forward and the protester coming out to stand in front. I think it's emphasized that the United States is backing up these Hong Kong protesters with the dead skeleton which obviously has connections to America. We've looked at Donald Trump, we've looked at Abraham Lincoln, but the hand is on the back. You know, it's like a we're backing you up kind of thing. Um, but it also has connections to South Korea as well, and the situations that's going on with North Korea. North Korea, you know, just fired off another 2 missiles just the other day. I didn't report on that, but you know, it's all over the news. And they had the little artillery firing drill not too long ago, so they're ready to